the song we just did? Because the talk I'm going to do is going to be presented in a storybook setting, and you are the main character. Okay? So, and my topic today is life is a circus. All right? So, you decide to go to the circus today. And as you arrive, the ringmaster states, "Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. We're so glad that you could attend. Come inside, come inside. Come inside, the show's about to start. Guaranteed to blow your head apart. Rest assured you'll get your money's worth. The greatest show on heaven and earth." Now, as you enter the circus tent, you find your seat. There is a spiritual buzzing in the air, and you feel the energies of alchemy and transformation. You find that you are now the ringmaster and the performer in the show. The first circus act today is the tightrope. You look towards the top of the tent and see the floodlights on the acrobat, which amazingly you recognize as yourself. You find yourself walking on a thin high wire, balancing yourself with a pole. You are able to do jumps, dancing, and cartwheels on this tightrope. You have courage and faith. The crowd watches in amazement and applauds when you finish. You realize this is the spiritual journey of maintaining balance between the extremes, such as worldly struggles and divine trust. The rope represents your soul path and the solid ground of spiritualism's principles. The pole symbolizes the tools, the wisdom, and the divine presence that provides stability in your life. And the walk represents the everyday, intentional practice of faith, the golden rule, and maintaining stillness and humility. You also know that you have a safety net to catch you below if you fall. You have divine potential. Next are the animal acts. You find yourself in the horse show, riding bareback with other performers and doing several tricks on the horse's back. The crowd roars in approval, and the spiritual lessons you learn are, first, balance, maintaining the equilibrium between human reason and animal instinct, and harmony, working in time and measure, creating a unity between the two, and connection, developing a deep, nonverbal, and inseparable friendship. In essence, a circus horse rider is a symbol of a skilled soul, someone who has learned to trust their animal nature and direct it towards a beautiful, creative, and high-functioning and spiritual life. Next, you find yourself in the center ring as the tiger tamer. As the tiger exits its cage, you have immense powers to calm this animal. You do not have to use a whip. You can cut through doubt to achieve conviction and self-confidence. Next, you light a flaming hoop and command the tiger to jump through it. This is done many times with precision, adding more and more flaming hoops and tricks. The tiger exits the center stage and the crowd applauds. You have learned that fire represents strength, activity, and life force. The tiger is seen as a reminder in your instincts, of your instincts, and to face challenges head on. The hoop represents jumping through your obstacles and driving back the darkness. Next, the elephant enters the ring and stands on the platform. People can see that, standing on one leg. Of course, balance might be a trick with this one, or a lesson. So, and this balancing act is ultimately a scene of immense spiritual potential and power. As you remain on the center stage, you see a short comedy routine of clowns and monkeys, there to break the tension and allow for the rigging to be changed for the next acts. Next, a juggler comes in. You perform with the juggler, juggling bowling pins. See? 3, 6, 9 pins are thrown into the act, and the crowd is wowed. So spiritually, you realize that the juggling represents balancing life's competing demands, representing the need for presence, focus, and grace in the face of inevitable change. The numbers 3, 6, 9 are Nikola Tesla's keys to the universe and their significance in nature. 3 being creation and a direct link to infinite intelligence. 6, personal strength. And 9, negativity release and completion. The next act is the teeter board, which is an oversized teeter-totter you would see on a playground. You are an acrobat now and perform with another on the teeter board. You are very agile and perform many gymnastic feats that you would see in the Olympics. Here you defy gravity, demonstrating a spiritual connection between physical skill and inner balance, most like principle number 2. It is a physical manifestation of trust, companionship, and cooperation. All of these represent spiritual growth. Now you see more monkeying and clowning around, filling in between the acts and showing us the absurdity of taking ourselves too seriously and reminding us to cultivate laughter and curiosity. Sorry. did some laughter yoga yesterday, so I point at my wife, she's going to laugh. So. Okay, so the next act is the flying trapeze, the main act of the show, known for its daring, high-flying stunts and high-speed action. You are now a trapeze flyer and mount a narrow board and take off on the flybar. You must wait for a call from the catcher to make sure you leave that bar at the right time. Otherwise, the catcher might not be close enough to you to make a successful catch. Once he catches you, you can perform many of the aerial tricks and caught by the catchers who was swinging from another catch bar. Once in the catcher's hands, you continue to swing and thrust back towards your flybar maneuver called a return. We've all seen this. A return would consist of some type of twist back to the bar or an angel. Tell the story, right? You're just saying it. So the angel is where the catcher holds a flyer by his feet or an arm. So for any other tricks that the flyer can get back to that bar. And once he's back to the bar, then he gets back to the platform and another aerial trapezer takes a turn. So in this one, if you fall, there is a safety net. This act reminds us that failure is a necessary part of growth, a prelude to success, teaching resilience and the courage to try again. And this act is all about principle number one. We believe in infinite intelligence. It is about trust and the art of letting go, especially fear. The essence of this act is surrendering to God, releasing the safety of the known, which is the bar, to embrace the unknown before being caught. It symbolizes releasing control and expectations in your life. More importantly, it represents the timing of letting go, of what you want to let go of, and trusting in your intuition. And that you will be caught no matter what the circumstance. The spiritual challenge is not to eliminate fear, but to hang out in the transition and transform fear into the thrill of living in the moment. So, the next act and final act is the human cannonball. Okay? And this is a dangerous circus act where the performer is launched from a cannon using explosives. Nowadays they use canned air. And you travel over 70 miles an hour and 200 feet into the air, and usually returning in a mini parachute. So now you climb into this cannon. You take the risk, trusting in greater forces than yourself, stepping into the unknown, leaving behind safety and trusting the journey into a new state. The ringmaster lights the charge. 3, 2, 1. Boom! And the cannon propels you on your new journey. And as your parachute descends, you find yourself back in your seat. The ringmaster announces the circus show has ended as the performers, including yourself, take a bow. The crowd applauds with gratitude. As you leave the circus, you look at the ringmaster again. His face transfigures into your higher self. He points towards your soul path and states, "Welcome back, my friend, to the show that never ends. We're so glad that you can attend." And then he adds, "Not my circus, or not my monkey, not my circus. Just observe and laugh at the clowns. Ha ha." So you think about this for a second. Spiritually, this saying recognizes that you are not responsible for fixing, managing, or engaging with other people's chaos or emotional drama, allowing you to maintain inner peace. It focuses on managing only what is within your control, often interpreted as care for your own circus, because life is a circus. You are the ringmaster, actor, director, and producer of your own life. Thank you for listening.